I am here today with the former owner and current owner of Verrazano's. If you have ever heard me talk about this restaurant, you know that it has such a special place in my heart. And so I had to come today and talk to you both because I think everybody misses you, but I think people should be super excited that you're here. And knowing you like I have for 35-ish years,
Yep.
I truly believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I truly believe that if you had any doubts about his ability to deliver exactly what you created in this space, I don't think that there would have been a transition. Is that correct? As your no?
No,
Would you?
I would have sold the place, yes.
Yeah,
But I was happy to find, I mean, many people had come in to purchase the place. And I was like, yeah, okay. It was like, a lot of them were like, well, I'll give you 10% down and this and that. I said,
yeah,
no, no, you buy it, you buy it.
yeah,
And I'm out and it's your place.
yeah,
And I would say 5 or 6 people it took me 2 years to find the right person.
yeah,
And he had the capital, he had the enthusiasm,
yeah.
and he had pretty much the knowledge of how to run a restaurant. So it was a good fit. It was, and the thing that really was satisfying to me was his enthusiasm about taking over the Verrazano Pizza brand, continuing most of the traditions and the food products.
Yeah.
And he's done a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome.
That was very nice.
Now listen, this is going to have to be memorialized because I don't know that he gives compliments
doesn't.
out
That's why.
very easily.
I mean,
I've said that to many people since you've taken over.
well, and that's one of the things is I've been coming here since I was a little kid. So
Yeah.
I don't think it was one of those things that people realized either it wasn't like I was like buying like a random brand.
Right.
Like the enthusiasm came because of the brand. Like,
So
it
then
was
you
like-
have the experience I have.
Yeah.
You've been coming in here since
I've
you were
been
a
getting yelled
kid.
at by him since I was a kid. I always
Yeah,
wanted to see
me
what
too.
was in the back.
Yeah.
And he's like, you could have seen what was in the back. You just had to ask. And you're afraid to ask.
I wonder why.
He's so friendly. He's so friendly.
Thank you. I am very friendly.
Well,
And that's what I say about myself. I say
Yeah.
I'm friendly and everyone thinks I'm mean too. So.
well, so you kind of both have this stoic look when you're not like smiling and laughing and interacting with people. I also get that comment. So I think that if you're in the working mode, well, mine is resting bitch face. I don't know what yours is, but that's
Asshole face.
I don't know. I'm just, when I'm not smiling, I'm usually working, concentrating on what
Right.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And
We want to
as
give
you,
a good product.
as you can attest to, when you own the place, you could be making a pizza, but you also weren't wondering, what do I have to order? Who's going to show up on time today? Who's not going to show up on time
Yeah.
today? Is
And-
that order getting out that I put in the back there?
right.
And there's so many things that you're thinking about. And,
Right.
as you get older, it gets a lot harder.
Yeah.
And I think that is what it is. It comes down to all of those things. There's a lot that goes into it.
But
So I think like
It's not like
we all give Ed a hard time.
yeah. But you're also public facing. So in this restaurant, you're not back in the kitchen. You're out in front. You're making the pizzas. You're taking the orders. You're ringing people up. You're doing all of
the whole
that.
shebang.
So I mean, you're in front of people the whole time that they're in this
Yeah.
restaurant. So yeah. So okay. When did you buy this place? Or when did you start this
November
particular
25th,
location?
1983.
Okay. And I moved to this side of town in 1985, I believe. So I've been coming here since then. They used to have open lunch at Bonanza High
Correct,
School.
yep.
So all of my friends that I graduated with, 1989 Bonanza High School, we came here all the time. This place would be wall-to-wall kids. Our class may be why there is no more open lunch at high schools. I'm not,
Might have lasted
confirming
a few
or
years.
denying.
Might have been a few years. I don't know. I think after the Wendy's food riot, that's when the school was shut
Is that
down.
when
Yeah.
When did it end? Because I was 92.
Okay.
And then maybe like 94, 96, somewhere in that.
Is that when it
Somewhere around
stopped?
there, I would
Yeah,
think.
so I mean, it's been a long time. I
Yep.
mean, I was a teenager. My husband also used to come in here, and I mean, used to. He still comes in here all the time. Separately, before we started dating. When
Yep.
we started dating, I would walk in, and what would you say?
Hi, Eileen. Where's
No,
Aaron? What?
no,
What?
you would say,
Oh,
really?
oh, come on.
This guy?
Come on. I was kidding. I was kidding.
Listen, we've been married almost 32 years and you still say that. Are you still with this guy?
Well, okay, I do say that.
But I think that it was never offensive to me.
Well,
We came in here looking for you to have some smart ass thing to say.
I think, yeah. I mean, that's. I have a bit of an acerbic side to myself, my personality, but thank God I opened my business when I opened it back then, because now I don't know if that would work out so well.
I don't know.
I mean, there's
Okay, well, for my age, it works.
yes.
And my kids grew up,
Well,
so
my experience with the young people that would try and come in here and work,
Yeah.
as few as far between as they were,
yeah.
I didn't catch that mental toughness in them
Really?
that they would be able to work here. Absolutely.
There's some great stories. There's some of the greatest stories.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about those.
Okay, so I'll just say, so when my oldest is 28, so been coming in since they were babies. So when they started coming in as teenagers, they would come in and you'd say, "What is that on your face?" And they'd be like, what's on my face? And you're like, all that shit all over your face. And it took them a minute to figure out that you were talking about the makeup that they had on.
Yeah.
And you would tell them, you were beautiful. Why mess it up? Why? But
They were young then.
they were young, but I'm just saying, I truly appreciated bringing them in here for someone else to harass them other than me.
My pleasure.
So, I mean, thank you for that service that you have given to all of us who brought our children in here.
Well, it's kind of like being like a father figure for people that didn't have a father, or like kind of that thing, like pick up your bike or whatever it was. Like, don't leave your bike sitting down outside, or,
Yeah.
Don't skateboard, whatever
Right.
those things
Or
were.
the
It
no
was just like,
sagging pants.
it was just like a thing.
That
Like,
was for the elderly
it was
ladies in here.
you got it at home, but like, it was like, oh, there's a guy that says it. That's not my dad.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, maybe I should do those things anyway too. And it's just kind of, we all talk about it. And like, going back to your point about the dating story, like,
Yeah.
we have guys that still come in here and celebrate their birthday
Yeah.
because they've been doing it since they were 15 years old. So it's pretty crazy. Like,
Yeah.
It
just
is
the environment that this place like created, like, it's more than just like a pizza place.
Well, but here's why I wanted to do this. I have been asking you, so I've had my real estate license for 13 years. I have been asking you almost that entire time to
Yep.
sit down with me and have a conversation. But why it is so important, and I want to get back to why you're a good fit for this, because I looked up a little bit about you.
Oh, you researched me?
a
Oh,
little
investigative
teeny,
reporting
a
now.
little
See?
teeny. I mean, it's Instagram. It's not that deep of an investigation,
Oh, I gotta go private.
but
There you go.
I feel like my brand is the Real Las Vegas. It is so important that we support local,
Absolutely.
because we are such a transient town, but the people who have actually put their money where their mouth is, started a business, they are invested in this community, they are growing, they are fabric of society. Those people need to be supported.
Absolutely.
And if we don't do stuff like this, then you may not know that this place even exists. You may just drive by and say, oh, that building's been there for 40 years. There can't be a good pizza place in there. And then here you walk where people who've been coming in here for 40 years, specifically at the Rainbow and Westcliff location, because not all Verrazanos are created equal.
This is the
last one.
There's no more around.
So, but I feel like that is what's so important. So that, just because a torch has been passed, we still need to support the brand that you built because, of who you are and saying, hey, listen, this is such a part of my own story that it's important for me to come in and carry this on. I think that's huge. I don't think you really see that much anymore.
I don't see it because for me, I opened up the business. I had left my previous line of work because it was a bureaucratic area. I worked for the Las Vegas Mental Health Center. Wonderful people, but it was a government bureaucracy, and I didn't fit in there at all. And I was working at the original Verrazano's there for a bit, and they offered me, we were going to be opening up this store. It was going to be the third store, and they offered me a piece of the pie. And then, I said, sure.
That's cheesy.
I know. Oh, very good. And I said, you know what? And I was getting written up a little bit much over there. And
did you have an attitude?
No, I had a truth problem. I spoke the truth. And it doesn't fit.
For some people that's an attitude.
It doesn't fit into that kind of environment. So
true.
This opportunity arose, and I'd been working both jobs for several years. And I was like, you know what? I gave my notice over there. I said, I'm in. That's good. I borrowed some money from my father-in-law, and we went into business. And I'd already been running the other Verrazanos, the original Verrazanos on Maryland Parkway. I knew how to run the business, and I didn't put any more into it because I always put 100% into whatever I do.
Right.
I said, no matter what I do, it's going to be the best that I can do. And it's going to be the best product or the best effort I can give you. And that's the way I ran the place. And as far as, giving kids a hard time, it was like, don't mess around in my store. I said, this is my store. I said, if you don't like it, you can leave. Like when the kids used to come in the first week of school, and I would be like, here's your slices, thank you. And then be a one or two, and it was like, you don't come back no more. And that was it. He was like, what do you mean? I said, I don't want you back in here.
Yeah.
The old adage, the customer's always right. If the customer is right, the customer is always right. But the customer's not always right.
Yeah.
And that's the way I always did things, always gave people a good product, a fair product, always treated everybody fairly. I never picked on anybody. I mean, you don't pick on people when you want them to come in and spend money in your store. You want them to be happy and get a good product and see you next week.
The funny thing is, though, I feel like, you may feel the same. I knew when I was a kid, don't mess around in Eddie's store because, you're going to hear it. And to your point, that was that father figure of, we're going to respect one another. And if we don't, you don't get to, it was a privilege. Do you know what I mean? It seriously was a privilege to be able to come in here, to be able to interact. I loved it, to be able to interact with you and to get great food. So I think that's how you taught people to treat this business.
You treat people with respect. And that was the lesson you kind of learned. And you just learned it as you grew up.
Yeah.
All together.
Yep.
Not realizing that you were learning something. You were
Most kids used to learn that all the time from their parents and society. It's kind of lacking these days, but it's harder these days. It really is.
Well, even then, though, I came home. My parents weren't home, and so I think sometimes as teenagers, you would think, oh, if we're out away from mom and dad, we can act however we want. And you couldn't do that here. Because you were like, I don't care who you are, because you would do that to adults as well, not just kids.
True.
It's fun to see though, because I know the kids now as adults that were coming in here as kids, and how we all acted everywhere else. but we all didn't act that way here.
No.
So that we could get our pizza. So
Right.
and we all have the same funny stories. Like, hey, we did this everywhere else.
But
you put your bike here. You pulled your pants
Pick up your pants.
Like all those things you didn't do in one pizza place, but you did everywhere else. Like, so it showed respect
It did.
for here, not,
Well,
in general.
And if you did that, I would give you respect,
Right.
and treat you as an adult, no
So
matter what
it's
age you
just
were.
it's a different story.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, and I've never heard anyone who mentions Verrazano's not mention it with such fondness.
Oh yeah,
And
they tell you how long you've been.
Yeah,
Every
and
person
great
that walks in the door
memories.
tells you how long they've been coming here, because it's almost like a passage.
a
like
rite of passage,
like,
yeah. I
what's your-
survived.
Yeah, like I'm a
30 years.
20 year, and then like if you say 20 years, somebody that's sitting down eating will say, "Oh yeah, I've been coming here for 30 years."
Yeah,
And it's like, "Oh, I've been here 5 years,"
yeah.
and like you can only be a virgin once. That's Penny's line, and then it's like every person has like their thing. So,
Yeah, it's true.
but it's like you walk in the door, it's like you have to say how long you've been coming here.
Yeah,
So it's
It's-
just that's part of
It was
it.
a great
It's
run for
great.
me,
yeah.
But my time had come, and I was very fortunate that this guy came in and was interested in buying the place.
All right, so I'll get back to my offense a little later on because we're going to talk about ranch, but we're going to do it at the end.
I don't
So,
remember the ranch recipe.
you know what? I'm not talking to you about it. I'm talking to this
Fair
guy
enough.
over here
Fair
about
enough. That's cool. We're good.
No. So, what experience do you have as
Making
far
ranch.
as no, not making ranch, as far as
I used to-
restaurants go?
I've been in restaurants since I was 18 years old, all in Las Vegas. So I grew up in the hospitality industry pretty much. So worked for a local hospitality group called Gen 3 Hospitality for 10 years. Did pizzas, burgers. Worked for Tao Group for a while. So, and then kind of like Ed, I just realized I couldn't work for other groups and wanted to do my own thing. And luckily, Ed was selling. So, and kind of the same thing. Like, I don't think I could have worked anywhere else or found a place that I would have fit in the way I fit in here. So,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of like Ed, have the same kind of like look and the honesty thing. Like, we just kind of tell it how it is. If you're right, you're right. But if I'm wrong, I'll do whatever I can to make it right.
Yeah.
But on your end, if I know I'm right, I'm gonna stand my ground and do it that way. So
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, so to your point, my husband came in here one of the times that he was harassing you to do this interview.
oh yeah,
And
Can't believe you did that.
you can't believe I did that, really? It's like you don't even know
Trying to help you
me.
here.
But he got a call after he had left from one of your staff and said, "Hey, Ryan wants to give you some pizza because whatever you got, he didn't think was up to par."
oh yeah. That was he came in the morning before to make sure that I called you
To harass you. You can call it what
the
it
day
is.
before. And he was fine with it, but I was like, it's not right.
So I've never had a restaurant call me to say, "Hey, I made a mistake. Can we make this right for you?" I don't care if it's $100 a plate meal. Never. I have never had that happen. So to me, that really speaks to how seriously you are taking what you're doing here and continuing the service that has been, given for the last 40 years.
Well, there's like with the brand, like with the pizza, like I know like what Ed, like the Verrazano Pizza, like there's quality in the
Yeah.
pizza. Like every pizza's, we want to make sure it's perfect.
Right.
But also like just in general, like for me, hospitality, like making sure customers are happy. So there's
Yeah.
the combination of both. Like if I'm going to say I'm right, I want to make sure that I'm right. And if I'm wrong, I'm going to hold myself just as accountable. But
Right.
we want to make sure that pizza goes out and everybody has the best pizza possible. So
Yeah.
like he's been making the pizzas. We counted them up. I think we were over 1 million pizzas or something. All right. Like
I
we
don't.
figured it out. 40 years of
Never
making
counted.
pizzas. We were trying to figure it out one time. It was like,
Yeah.
so we know that those pizzas are always going to be right, but we want to make sure that everyone still gets them right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're looking to do. And, if it's wrong, I'm going to make sure that the next one's right, or make sure that at least you come back and get it
Right.
the perfect one next time.
But that was very impressive to me. And I mean, I'm not easily impressed. So that was just showed me how serious that you
I
were
appreciate
taking
that.
this venture.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, but I also wanted people to know that you have a restaurant background. This isn't like, oh, I decided to pick up some hobby of,
no.
running a restaurant. This is actually
I had several
something,
people who wanted to buy the place that were just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I always wanted to own a restaurant. I go, do you know how to run a restaurant? Well, no, but how hard can it
Yeah,
be?
exactly.
I said, well, you know what? I could take your money,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be back here in 6 months and you've ruined my business. So
Right.
it's like,
and that's important, right? Is like anybody could have bought this and it could have stayed Verrazano's for 3 more months, but it would have changed, or
Right.
parts of it would have changed.
Right.
But the core needed to stay the same.
Yeah.
Really. So that's what I really think. Like the pizza, the ranch needed to stay the same.
Agreed.
So,
Well, you did
those
you
real
did make
core
a change
items,
to it.
those real core items need to stay the same.
Yeah.
I didn't change anything.
You changed one thing
sizes.
with the
The sizes. Yes, the sizes.
which I am so grateful for.
All these years, and it's a freaking ranch.
No, well, I mean, so I wasn't told, I guess I'll just throw it in here now. I wasn't told that the way that I got the ranch recipe was to buy the restaurant. I didn't know.
I think I might have.
I wasn't even given that
No, I
option.
My best friend threatened me, so.
Well, so I asked him years ago what the secret was, and he's like, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you exactly what the secret is. I'm like, give it to me. He's like, we make it fresh every day.
Every day.
Absolutely.
I was like, well, that told me a lot of nothing.
And I'll tell you what, the other part of that is the same guy makes it every day for 26 years. Is a big part of that too. So
I wasn't lying.
You weren't.
Okay.
it is
You
like
weren't.
every day. It's made every day.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't sit long.
It goes,
Especially now with those bigger sizes.
it moves fast. It moves fast.
Stuff moves.
well, I mean, I think I probably just should get a gallon when I come in and just,
I thought about
me.
I thought about making bigger sizes,
no.
but I think the 3 sizes are just right.
Yeah,
So
I think so too.
I don't think it needs.
Yeah, no, I
People
think
want
so
store
too.
sizes, but
No, because you know what? Then you would just put it in your fridge and it wouldn't taste the
It wouldn't
same
be fresh.
after you used it, because I know whatever we don't use, we don't save it.
we have one customer who has an agreement with his wife. They can't buy food. They're not eating out, but condiments don't count. He comes here specifically to buy ranch
That is
for their food at
hysterical.
You get that. You get that. It's
So
okay.
he buys like 15 ranches and takes it home, but he doesn't buy any food, just the ranch.
I had customers that come in, hey, can I
That
buy a
is
dough?
so
Sure,
funny.
you can buy a dough. Can I buy some sauce? Yeah. How about some cheese? Yeah. Here you go.
You make a
You
pizza.
take it home and cook it? Okay. Cool. Easier for me.
Oh my gosh. I hadn't even thought about doing that. It wouldn't be the same.
Better for me.
I mean, maybe if you used an outdoor pizza oven.
And you know how to use it, unlike me.
So how long have you lived in Las Vegas?
I've lived here all my life since 1973, 49 years.
Born and raised?
Born and raised,
Wow.
That's
as
something.
local as they get.
All right.
I grew up in this area, so.
So you're not going anywhere.
I went to Western, yeah.
Oh,
I know. Western
oh,
92, even
the
worse.
interview is
Even
over.
worse. Even worse.
You went to Western what?
92.
I was already gone.
Everyone already, like, that's half the battle. Like, people hate it that I bought it from Western.
You don't have to tell
They're
me.
like, a Western guy bought it.
Oh my God.
Nothing didn't mean nothing to me. I used to have kids come up from Western.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If we had enough
Back
time,
when we
we'd
had
come
enough time.
here. Is either here or Villa Pizza at Meadows. Those
Yep.
were the only two places people ate pizza.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let it
It's
slide.
the only two.
I'll let it
It's like a
slide.
reunion almost every day.
Well, it is funny because and I mean COVID did change a little bit. We didn't eat inside for a couple of years.
Right.
So I guess that
You
is
can
one
now,
thing.
though.
Yeah.
You
So
can't eat.
so you have it open now to be back in here to
Yeah.
sit
Yep. Dine-in's open.
to get harassed, you know, if you
Harassed
want
all day
to.
long if you
It's,
want.
you know, it's good. So anything else that you've changed?
No, we've added a small Sicilian pizza now. So like there's a mini Sicilian pie that's 12 inches. We've added just a couple items like pork belly bites and stuff like that, but nothing as far as like the core items and sandwiches go.
Yeah.
Everything's really stayed the same.
So I've noticed something that you've changed. Actually, a couple of
What
things
things?
that you've changed. You no longer have the dial-up processor for credit cards.
Yes. Oh yeah, social media.
You
Let's
know,
see,
what's
social
that
media
sound that it makes?
POS
The
system.
as it
Yeah.
connects to
Oh,
the
yeah.
internet.
We have a bigger TV. There's a 75-inch TV. You
He's
don't have
like,
to watch
bring it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming.
And that was another reason I needed to sell.
Why?
There's
Bring this place back into the 20th
Internet.
century. Even though it's the 21st century, it's okay. One century at a time.
but and those were the things that he did tell me. Like he's like, these are the things I knew that needed to be done.
Right.
Like social media, those type of things.
What? You have social media?
Social media.
Wow.
All over.
That's crazy.
All over social media.
If it ain't broke.
Well,
don't
I
fix
mean, but listen,
like I said, that was another reason
yeah.
that I knew he would be able to do that.
Well, and I think it's funny though, because I think that and I don't know that I necessarily thought about it, but I can imagine that people who've been coming here for a long time might think, oh, this kid came in, because you look like a kid. This kid came in, changed everything. Sure. I mean, so do you. But, changed everything, threw out all the old stuff. He's trying to change, what Chef Eddie, which is what my kids call you, what he built. And, so we're not going to go back, or we're going to take a break, or we're going to, it probably won't be around much longer. So that is, the things that you did change have nothing to do with the food.
Oh yeah, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I like the interaction with people on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was as efficient as it is now. I can't speak to that, but
well, technology only works if the people using the technology
and
know
I'll
how
tell
to
you
use it,
tell you
so.
that was a big part too. All of those things are a big part of the restaurant, and
yeah,
the interaction on the phone. We didn't even want to take that away because that part, like a lot of our customers.
Yeah.
Like he said, you can't change the phone number because the phone number I'd say the phone number is as valuable as the ranch.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows their own phone number, let alone everybody knows our phone number.
Right.
Which is crazy because in a day and age where nobody can even they don't know their parents' phone number.
But
you call Verrazano's, it's like hands down, like
we've known it for decades.
Right. Every kid knows the phone number for here, or it's like a speed dial thing. So our phone still rings, but we do have like online ordering. We made it more accessible to more people, but we didn't like take it away from the people who were already ordering.
Right.
We just wanted to make it more known. We wanted to bring it to the people who didn't know about it,
Right.
which is crazy because we have people Uber here from the Strip now, which is fun to watch. And like people coming in saying, oh, I saw it on Google reviews. And like, it's a great pizza, you know,
Right.
like letting people actually try it, like experience it who wouldn't have tried it. Like, oh, I'm from New York. This is the best New York pizza I've ever had.
Right.
You know, and it's like, sometimes I'm like, well, it's because the guy who originally made it had, you know, refuses to change any product since it was invented
Well,
back in New York.
I was not the original guy. My
But you didn't change the product from that guy.
no, I didn't. My
You know, like he
original
kept it
partners,
core.
Rick
Like
and Phil.
he never changed what it was. And like he said, like he wanted to make the best pizza. And like I always thought like Ed had like this huge passion for pizza and like this was like all he wanted.
Right.
And when I was talking to him, he's like, no, he's like, but if I'm going to do something, I wanted to make the best.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do the best, which I was like, well, that's awesome. Like that's
Yeah.
respectable. So I was like, okay. So that's why it tastes so good. It's like, if you're going to do it, that's why our cheese, like, you know, the cheese costs a fortune.
Well, there's no shortcuts.
Like we use the best products.
You can make it cheaper, but it
Yeah.
won't
like,
be
yeah,
better.
like,
Right.
you know, if you can go somewhere else and buy a cheaper pizza by all means, but it's not going to be the best pizza.
It's not going to be this
It's
pizza.
not gonna be
It's not
this
going to be
pizza.
this pizza.
Yeah, you're not going to get this pizza.
No.
So my original partners, Vic and Phil, they had the original Verrazano's on Maryland Parkway, and I started working there as a delivery driver after I graduated college because I came out here way too late to start teaching. And they were real different. They had a different kind of mindset. They had the original New York mindset
Yeah.
where it was like a customer would come in with a special request and I would ask one of them, I say, Vic, you know, they wanted this done this way. And they're like, no, we don't do that. And I would go, and Phil was even more curt. I go, Phil, this customer no. I didn't even ask you what they wanted. You're saying no. So I changed that kind of aspect of it. You know, Vic was a lot easier going than Phil. Phil was hardcore, old school. And
This is how it is. This is
Yeah.
what you get.
but when we opened this place up, you know, we were partners here and they basically said, here's the store, you know what to do. Because
Yeah.
I was, like I said previously, I was doing the other store. And I had free reign here. They just, you know, they would come by and say, how's it going? Good. All right, cool. You know, and things just I mean, we were very fortunate here. When we opened up, there wasn't a lot out here. There was very little out here. I think the closest things were like Farm Basket down on Charleston. Anything south on Rainbow, there was nothing. There was nothing out north. So we were very fortunate that we had a good clientele.
Yeah,
And
because
they-
you
and
were
a lot
kind
of
of
them
the
stayed.
end
Yeah.
of the road here.
Yeah. And we still have customers that come in from those days,
Yeah.
you know, from the beginning. And I'm very fortunate.
Well, because I mean, Summerlin Parkway didn't exist.
No, there was no
there was
Yeah,
no
this
freeway
was-
here.
no.
Like it was
The
all
freeway ended right here on the curve.
Yeah.
It was cross traffic on Vegas Drive. There was no bridges or anything. It was like,
you had to go down to
I mean,
Jones.
yeah, when Vic and Phil first brought me out here, this was dirt. We were standing out here and I was like looking around. I'm going,
You're building what?
who are we going to sell this pizza to? There's nobody out here. And
Yeah.
Phil was like, it'll be okay. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. You
Yeah.
know, if you guys think this is a good spot. So it
That's
was good.
funny.
Yeah. It was a roll of the dice. It really was.
Well, it paid off.
Yeah. I mean, if we knew then, well, you know, if we knew now what we had then, we would have done different things, you know.
Oh yeah,
you
of
know?
course.
It's amazing how this town has grown.
But
Somewhat
you
for the better.
You look
but-
at
Yeah.
that though, like all that. He didn't have any of the social media. He didn't advertise. You didn't really advertise. And you look at all the reviews. You look at the essential pizzas and stuff, and like it was still out there as like being recognized,
Right.
even though he wasn't like pushing it. Like people just knew.
Word of mouth.
Like yeah, like they knew that it was just like a great product. So like
Yeah.
that's why. Like you're not really like you're kind of what's it like humble about the whole
Well, we were fortunate
product.
having the Maryland Parkway store, which was right across from Artemis Ham Hall at UNLV.
Okay.
And we opened up here day after Thanksgiving in '83, and it was people would come in. And it was, damn, I can't believe you're up here. Thank God. And I was like, I said, you live up here? Yeah, I go to school down there, but I live up here. So I mean, there was like a built-in customer base already, and people. I mean, word of mouth. It was the only really kind of advertising there was back
Well,
then.
and in Vegas, for people who don't live here or for people who are just moving here, they don't understand what a small community this is.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, and back then, even more so, but I mean, I can, so what I saw on your social media was that you were at Ellis Island.
Yes.
So I know the Ellises from just different groups that we're in. So I mean, like in a lot of areas, there's like 6 degrees of separation. In Vegas, there's like 1. I mean, it is so small, and everybody really does know
If you've been here a
everybody.
while, you know.
Yeah. And if you are a locally owned, business, I really do think that people do want to give you business. They want to see you succeed. So, I
If
mean,
you have a good product.
if you have a
and you
good
treat 'em good,
product, yeah. And that respect is there, and you do get, I mean, because to be honest, there weren't a lot of local pizza places. We had a lot of franchises,
Mhm.
we had a lot of that, but local, I
Well, yeah,
preferred to
like
come here rather than anywhere else. I
Right.
don't live over
well,
here
like this,
anymore, but I
like
travel here.
this place is like, and what I try, like what I always tell people is like, I want to keep it as is like, it's all like that traditional, like New York pizza shop where you come, you hang out. It's like a bar without the
Exactly.
bar, because you got Kenny talk, he talks to like the people all the way down about personal, like family. And they want to catch up with you. Like
Right.
they stay here to talk, like why they come in 15 minutes before their pizza's ready to talk to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not about, it's really not about like picking up your pizza and leaving. It's kind of about catching up. It's that personal experience. So like going back to you talking about me calling you guys about your pizza,
Yeah.
it would be like a family member, right? Like,
Right.
so like, hey, your pizza wasn't cooked right.
Yeah.
Let's make it right.
Yeah.
That's the same thing you would do for a family member. So like,
Right.
it's kind of like everyone in this area, like we've all been coming here for 40 years. So like, we just all take care of each other. So that's kind of like what I would say.
Yeah. So I have people that I know who have moved out of town.
Mhm.
And they will tell me the first place they stop to eat when they come into town to see family or friends is here.
Yep.
And when
Yeah.
they leave,
Yeah.
take it home and freeze.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So, I mean, but I mean, honestly, for lack of a better term, you handed down a legacy because you did really build a legacy here with all of the people who, whether they knew it or not, were part of this little tight-knit Verrazano
Oh.
community.
Yeah, I couldn't
And
have done it
so,
without my guys. I mean, Benny and
Yeah.
Kenny been here for decades,
yeah,
and we've had. It was hard to keep. I mean, a lot of young people would come in and work, and some of them were really good, and they would just move on because they were young and they were going to college. They go away to
Right.
college, but without all those people, I mean, James is still here, so
James is
James is
still
doing
here.
a good job, and it's everybody. It's everybody that's
And
worked
they
here.
all come in, like
Yeah.
even all the old workers, they all still come in.
Sure.
They all like, and
I'll
like
see
the guys
them. I'll see
the
them when I
guys
come
all
pick
get
up
excited.
pizza.
They
Well, people
still
come
get
in
excited
from
to catch up.
so many times. People come in and they're like old high school, mates, and
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my God, how you been? I
Yeah.
haven't been here forever." Well, there you are. I come here
Well,
every week.
I mean, you guys are closed on Monday. We had people trying to come in the door as we were setting up this interview, like, "Oh, did I miss the memo? You guys are open on Monday now?" So I mean, it really is kind of like a home away from home, somewhere that you just get to catch up.
It used to be a home. Not
Well,
a-
for you
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
for Ryan, yeah, it
I
definitely
think he's doing it a
is.
little bit better. He's got himself a little more disconnected from it, so he's not here all the time. I was a little too compulsive to let go of the reins that much. I was here all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding. That was sarcasm.
Oh, that was sarcasm?
I can't even
gotta work on
imagine that you were a little bit controlling. How shocking.
I know. It's hard to pick up, but sometimes some people see it.
But that's why though. But because of that, you can trust like
Yeah.
Benny, Kenny, and James and those guys really to do the work because it's ingrained to do the right thing. All
Well, the
they're
other
so trained. Like everyone's trained to do the right stuff.
the other thing I think is so cool that you guys did was you kind of did a training, little session where you didn't just like, here's the keys and walk away. You kind of worked
Well, he asked me to
together.
stay, so I said, okay.
I begged him to stay. I
But
wanted to
I
work
mean,
with him a little bit.
but you guys worked together for a little bit,
Yep.
until,
I showed him my routine. I said, this is how I do it.
yeah.
I said, do it or not. It's up to you. And
So that's what I changed, that whole routine.
So what did you
No.
what did you change about
I don't hug all the girls at Costco. That's the only thing.
well, you don't know him as long. Well, you wait. When you get old, when you're there for 15 years, they'll hug you. Don't worry.
Well, now do you see these people anymore?
No.
No?
I used to go to the business Costco all the time.
That was
Yeah.
probably my favorite
that
thing that
was-
we did
and that
during
was,
training was go to
I've
Costco.
known that was the original Costco in town, and I've been
Right,
going
I
there that
remember.
long. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because as scary as Ed is here, he's super nice to everyone at
not
Costco.
scary. What do you say?
Well,
I'm scary.
You know, like when
Yeah.
you walk in here, you're kind of on your best behavior, but you were really nice. Like, so says hi, like friendly
Okay,
to
Ryan.
everybody.
Okay, Ryan.
Well, don't give away all his secrets
No,
that he's
he's-
actually a nice guy underneath that crusty exterior. Crust.
Oh, I get it.
pizza
Okay.
crust.
All right. Good deal. We're all getting our
See, we
little.
got a little puns in.
Everybody got one in. That's good.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
I just
I
want
mean-
to say I'm real thankful that Ryan has the place, and I'm very thankful for all my customers and employees that work for me over the years. Couldn't have done it without both sides of the counter.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. And it wasn't my passion in life to be a pizzeria owner, but it provided for my family and
Yeah.
provided for many other families. And it was a great experience, and I'm just too old for this stuff now.
Well,
And that's basically what it comes down to. It's time for me to enjoy my life. I enjoy my grandkids,
yeah.
hang out with them a lot more, hopefully go on a vacation. I'm going on a cruise in September.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
Felice insisted. So I was like, okay,
Felice deserves a cruise.
she does. She deserves a lot more. And everything's working
A
out.
lot more.
Hey, I take care of the house now. I mop. I vacuum. else do I
You
got?
got
Take
all
care of
this
the
free
yard.
time on your hands.
She keeps me busy. She keeps me busy. It's okay. It's a beautiful thing.
I would like to say thank you, Ed, for trusting me with the business.
My pleasure.
I really do. This was like a really big responsibility on my end. Like I put it all on myself. Like he didn't put anything on me to do it, but it was like such a big.
Oh, I don't know. I
Like-
put you. I tested you. I was like, yeah, okay.
Well,
I mean, first time he was like,
I
yeah,
felt
okay,
that was just
whatever.
your normal.
Well,
The normal
it
shtick.
was.
I
It was you know what? It was a normal shtick. That's how I filtered prospective buyers out. Hey, I'm interested in buying your place. Okay, well, this is what I want. This is and
Yeah.
let me know what you think. And they would get back to me, and I wouldn't answer them.
To see
And
if they
See
came
if they were
back
really
again.
interested.
Yeah.
This guy, hey, what's going on? Did you get my proposal? I was like, yeah, I did.
Oh, so
yeah.
he did to you what I did to him.
Oh,
with
no,
the
no,
interview.
you harassed him. I was seeing if he was really
Well, no,
interested.
he was persistent.
Yes.
That's all I was. I was just persistent on trying to get this interview done.
You might have
Okay.
came to my house.
Oh, see, I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. He's talking about you. No, but he showed some very, very interesting.
But for me, the way that this place is and what it is to me is like it is like a home, and
Yeah.
the place. Like I tell people, I'm like when I describe the restaurant that I always wanted, like it really was like I was describing this place, which was always kind of crazy to me because I was like I wanted a place that was old school with video games and
Yeah.
small, not big, but like it was like a family restaurant.
Right.
And it's exactly what it is. So like
it's an old New York style pizzeria.
we have fun.
Yeah.
Like we
I
have
don't know if
fun
they-
every day. And like I would say like some of that is probably you come in and there's a little bit not to take away from Ed's side of it, but it's a little bit lighter when you come in. Like there's like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you said like it's a little bit light
Definitely.
it's a little bit lighter when you come in. Like you don't feel like you're gonna get harassed. You're not gonna get yelled at.
I don't know. Kenny's
That's the
still
only
here.
part. You're definitely gonna get a hard time.
Yeah,
Like we're gonna
yeah.
joke with you,
Yeah.
but it's not. There's a little bit less, just that edge. But that's the only part of it that I would say that has really changed.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. But other than that, we all have that experience. But that's the only part I think, which with now today's generation, I think it's needed. Because I don't think any today's generation would have been able to handle what we all did. Because
That's
you
true.
know,
It's a different time.
different
My time
time
is
now.
come and
Like
gone.
I mean, I think I'm at the tail end of it, like where we're all at this era where it's not the same.
Yeah, I'm sad. I raised my kids to be a little bit obnoxious, I guess, for today's standards. So I'm hoping they continue the cycle because
Thank you, Aaron.
yeah, I mean, and we're just real
Yeah.
with our kids, and
you have to be.
I mean, and I appreciate, somebody who cares enough to snap them out of, do you know what I mean?
Of
Whatever
course, you also have mothers that come in
headspace
and
they're
go,
in.
"How are my kids the other day? What were they doing?" It's like, damn, it made me
Well,
snitch.
because they come in
Well, we
by
won't
themselves.
snitch. But it's a place where you're gonna get honest.
Yeah,
Like and that is as true today as it was when Ed was
Right.
here. Like we'll still be honest with you.
and
We'll
you'll
still be
know who
real.
you can do
Like,
that
and
with.
that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
you come in, you'll still get the real answers. You'll still
Right.
we'll still be honest with you.
You'll
you know,
still tell people to pull up their
all your pants
pants.
still have to be pulled up when you come in the restaurant. The sign's still up. The sign's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
The sign's part of the restaurant forever. So
yeah.
stories are great.
Well, so I've changed a little bit of how I do my business. So now when people close on their new home, we do a housewarming party for them. So they invite whoever they want to, and then we provide the food, we send out the invitations, we do all of that. So I would like to partner with you to be one of our vendors for that
Okay.
event. So
Absolutely.
Don't look at me.
I'm not looking at you.
You were looking at me.
Not for anything other than to say you missed out, man.
Just check out that nice shirt.
Well, no, but that is how much I believe in this place. And so I do know, and you may say it has nothing to do with it, but I do know if he trusts you, that you're trustworthy. And so that goes a long way with me. So I just want to say thank you. We've eaten here several times since,
Good.
Eddie has been gone, and
A lot less since I agreed, but
we go in spurts. If you haven't noticed,
No,
we go in spurts. So
we saw you at the hockey game. I know.
that's true. That's true. But I mean, I really think that, everybody who takes the chance to come in and to see that everything is still the same, I think that they're really going to love the fact that somebody who is super passionate about what you're doing here is running the place.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really do. And thank you for giving me the chance. And that's really the whole thing about sitting down was to really let people know that we didn't, it wasn't coming in to change anything.
Right.
And I grew up in the area and I really wanted people to know it was a respect thing more than anything else, was keeping these traditions and keeping this brand that we all love, keeping it going.
Yeah.
Is really what it was all about.
Yeah.
And that's why coming in here where we have so much fun is it's what we love to do. So Ed had fun for a while, and now he gets to enjoy his life now. So, but he still comes in and buys his pizza dough here.
Yeah. Buy a whole pizza.
And then you burn the pizza dough in your
Yeah, he burns it at home.
pizza oven
One
at home.
time. One time.
Well, when you get it down, you'll have to invite us over.
All right,
We'll
sounds
come
good.
eat your pizza. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, thank you both
Thank you, Eileen.
It took him way longer to say yes to do this than it did you. And I harassed him for a lot longer. So, yeah, I mean, I really appreciate you both sitting down with me today. And
I know it's been fun.
My pleasure.
and I look forward to this place being
Yeah.
here for another good
40
30,
years at
40
least.
years. Yeah.